Hello everyone. Our today's presentation is about the toxin of the black widow spider, and we are going to analyze it in terms of the pharmacology and toxicology, as well as we're going to look deep into the mechanical and structure of the toxin and give you some brief information about the geographical range of this species, as well as the ways that you can recognize it. So let us begin. So now, let's look into some general knowledge of the black widow spider, also known as Leptodoctus mactans, which is a scientific name for this type of species. Also, it is one of the most venomous spiders, and it is really easy to recognize because there is a great sign of the red hourglass on the superior of the main body trunk, which makes it easy to identify amongst the other type of the spiders. So it's really hard to miss. And the body structurally, it is quite small, with a max size of the 1.5 centimeter in the main body trunk, as well as a leg span of the 4 centimeter in each leg and the 4 pairs of leg, just like quite typical type of the spiders. And it's really important for us to know that the male size of this spider is about half size of the female size because the female one is the only one which can actually produce a toxin which can be harmful for human. The main toxin of these type of species known as alpha toxin, which is in comparison to the venom of the Indian cobra, is around 15 times more toxic to human. Alright, so now let's take a look at the geographical range of this type of a special species. The black widow spider, unfortunately or gladly, widely distributed across the globe. Meaning it doesn't matter you're living in the USA, Brazil, Europe, or even Australia, you might come across one of these. Because not only they are able to adopt a different variety of climates and environments, but they're also very good in living with humans. Because they naturally are designed to live in the dark corners and there are three of the environment that are dry, warm, and dark in order to be able to lay eggs and reproduce. So what places could be better than the places which have been sheltered by human structures, such as garrets, sheds, and construction sites, or even under your unused furniture. But also they can be available in the wild, for example in the wood piles and under the logs.
Talk about how the Black Widow's venom became famous. So back in 1933, Dr. Alan Blair deliberately let Electrodactylus mactans bite him, landing himself in hospital and proving just how potent the venom is. Since then, researchers have isolated alpha-latrotoxin, the primary neurotoxin you see in the microscopic image here. It hijacks vertebrate nerve cells and triggers an uncontrollable flood of neurotransmitters. Now jump to the 2000s, and most recently, cyroelectron microscopy has shown the exact 3D structure of alpha-latrotoxin, revealing why it locks so tightly onto nerve cell receptors. So, from a single daring experiment to modern atomic level imaging, our understanding of this toxin has grown dramatically.
During an experiment done with mice, the LD50 of alpha-latrotoxin was found to be given as 20 micrograms per kilogram. Therefore, for every mammal, the LD50 is 20 micrograms per its given weight. Dose-response relationship. At low dosage, the body will feel symptoms such as pain, mild muscle cramping, as well as sweat and a little nausea. At mild dosage, there will be widespread muscle spasms, severe pain, tachycardia, hypertension, and could even lead to respiratory distress. Then at high dosage, there's extreme pain, difficulty breathing, and long muscle spasms. Black widow venom structure. The venom of black widow consists of 7 different latrotoxins, in which one targets vertebrates, 5 others are specialized on insects, and another which targets crustaceans. The vertebrate affecting latrotoxin, alpha-latrotoxin, is made of 2 structural domains. Then N-terminus, which consists of 3 cysteine amino acids and 2 hydrophobic regions, and the C-terminus, which is made of ankyrin repeats. And ankyrin repeats are specific amino acids arranged that stabilizes protein-to-protein interactions.
Hi, so today I will be presenting on the mechanism of alpha-latrotoxin. So alpha-latrotoxin actually targets the presynaptic nerve terminals by binding irreversibly to neurexins and latrophilins. Neurexins bind to alpha-latrotoxin calcium in a calcium-dependent manner, while latrophilins bind to alpha-latrotoxins in a calcium-independent manner. Once alpha-latrotoxin tetramerizes and forms non-selective cation channels in the neuronal membrane, which causes the calcium 2 plus influx and membrane depolarization. This influx actually triggers uncontrolled exocytosis of neurotransmitters such as acetylcholine, dopamine, and epinephrine, which will then lead to symptoms such as muscle pain, sweating, hypertension, nausea, and vomiting. The diagram shown in the slide is an example of how the mechanism works of the entry of alpha-laterotoxin into the neurotransmitters.
Hi, today I am to represent public health risks and downside of black widow envenomation. The venom holds the positive medical benefits. On the other hand, black widow venom can lead to serious health risks. I will explain in 3 points. First, severe pain and systematic symptoms. Envenomation can cause a condition called lactodism, which is characterized by muscle pain, cramp, etc. Second, limited antivenom access. Unfortunately, in some areas there is no proper medical care or they have shortage of antivenoms. The person who is bitten by black widow, they do not get proper treatment. Third, misinformation and fear. Exaggerated perception of black widow bites can unnecessary panic and fear.
Statistics and health informatics. Now, let's put those discoveries into perspective. The US Poison Control data counted over 15,000 confirmed Black Widow bites between 2012 and 2022. About 10% of victims needed hospital care, yet, crucially, none were fatal. These numbers highlight two things. The venom is medically significant, but today's supportive care and antivenom keep mortality at zero. Here we have milestones and real life cases. So for key milestones and what envenomation actually looks like in real life, Dr. Blair's self-experiment remains the benchmark for human symptoms, while a Munster University team, a university in Germany, recently mapped how alpha-lactotoxin docks on brain receptors, an essential step toward targeted treatments. And here we have examples. So we have two cases in 2025 that prove the venom is still a public health issue. In California, spider fragments struck a woman's eye, causing rapid swelling, severe cramps, and nausea, but she fully recovered with prompt care. And just a month before that, in Greece, a 66-year-old farmer was bitten and developed latrodectism, muscle weakness, abdominal pain, and even kidney stress. However, he also recovered after hospitalization. Together, these cases reinforce why ongoing research into both the toxin and its therapy matters.
Hi, today I represent potential pharmaceutical benefits of black widow venom components. While venom has some medical benefits, it can also cause serious health problems. I will explain in 3 points. First point, neurotransmitter modulation. Alpha lactotoxin leads to huge neurotransmitter release, insights to synaptic transmission and potential applications in neurodegenerative disease research. Second, neuromodulation. The venom unique effect on calcium may help to neurological disorders. Third, pain management. Black widow venom causes severe pain. By understanding its pain triggering pathways can lead to developing new innovation in allergistic drugs.
So, in conclusion, the potent neurotoxin known as alpha-latrotoxin with an LD50 of 20 micrograms per kg targets the nervous system and causes excessive release of neurotransmitters. This leads to lactrodectism, which causes muscle spasms, cramps, and difficulty breathing. While medical attention is required, most cases are not fatal.